If you get pushed into retirement and you don't know what to do next, how are you going to fill that 9 to 5? Despondency, maybe replaying in your head why you got thrown out of the office, thinking about all the things that you could have done or should have done differently. A lot of people become listless. They just end up like going on social media and arguing with strangers online about politics. They don't have a framework or just some sort of itinerary to how to best fill their day. Here we are. It's Saturday State of Mind. I've got a question for you, Jess.
I have an answer for you, Mike.
What is the plan here?
How specific are we getting?
What's it all for? We're working hard.
Oh, okay.
You're plugging away. There's a finish line somewhere down there on the horizon, right?
Meaning of life type of conversation.
No, not meaning of life. It's just, in America, we know how to work.
Sure.
Do we know how to retire? Do we know what we're retiring towards and what we're going to do once we're beyond the finish line? What's the plan?
I got to tell you, for me personally, I probably really haven't thought that hard about it because that finish line is so far away. But I get where you're going at here. What you're driving towards is what type of purpose do we want our life to have, especially in retirement?
Yeah, the purpose should be the plan. Our mission statement around here isn't to maximize your accounts. It isn't to outfox the IRS. I mean, to us, that's just table stakes. Any good financial advisor is supposed to be helping you do that. We're here to challenge people to live fearlessly like every day is Saturday. Mm-hmm. So you imagine your most ideal day. Can we get to a time and place where we can live that day over and over again? Whether it's hobbies or family or travel or all the above. What are we doing here? Oftentimes when people say, hey, I've been planning for retirement, they don't mean planning for the purpose that they're looking to fulfill. They don't mean they know what their 9 to 5 is going to look like once they've left their day job. They mean they've been tracking their numbers. They've got a spreadsheet somewhere. I know how much money I have in my 401k. I know what my portfolio looks like. So yes, you've been examining the financial foundation, but I wouldn't consider that to be full boat retirement planning. Part of what we have to consider here is when we leave work, which has been occupying the majority of our day for the last 40 years, what happens thereafter?
Yeah, we talk about people being in two phases of life, their accumulation and their distribution phase. And accumulation is basically meaning just that. You're accumulating money, you're working, you're creating like all this money savings for the future. And then once you retire, then you're in distributions and then you take that money out. And I think for a lot of people, they think about retirement as like, my plan is accumulate, build, grow, get a bigger nest egg. And okay, here, cool. It's time to retire. I've retired. I, put in the notice, like flip the switch. Now what?
Now what?
And
what do I do tomorrow?
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't think that far ahead. Now, tomorrow, hey, it might be great. Maybe tomorrow, Saturday, but come Monday, like I'm not setting the alarm clock. I'm doing whatever I want to do. And maybe you act that way for a couple weeks. But after that, things start to get really hairy unless we have a plan in retirement.
I would say absent giving this some proactive thought, most people get kind of thrust or pushed into retirement. It just happened this past week. One of the advisors in the office said, hey, so-and-so's coming in. We all responded on the advisory team. Didn't we just see that person a couple months back? Well, something's changed. Joe got laid off. Oh, so Joe wasn't expecting that. He wanted to work for a few more years, but now he's out on the curb. And that is changing everything for them because a very common thing for Americans, especially once you breach 60, is if you get thrown out of your office, going back into the workforce isn't necessarily easy, right? There's a lot of age bias out there and similar. So Joe finds himself in a position where he's probably now permanently retired, whether he wants to be or not. And he's like, I don't know what to do here. His questions aren't mostly that financial questions. Right. They're mostly related to what am I supposed to do? This wasn't part of the plan.
And I think sometimes when you think you have more time, than you do, like to plan, I'll figure it out. I'm not planning retiring for a few years here. Joe, unfortunately, did not have that luxury that time. So all of a sudden you wake up one day, luckily, like he's in a great situation, so he can choose not to go back into the workforce. Okay, I'm going to retire earlier than anticipated, but what's it all for? Because today I can tell you very clearly, like I'm very passionate. I wake up every morning. I come into work. I know my plan, not only for the day, the week, the month, the year, but overall what I'm trying to do here, what we're all trying to do at Arcadia. And that's to, give people more Saturdays in retirement by taking care of the planning for them and challenging them to do what they want to do. When that changes, is when that identity stops being who I am, I don't know what the next 20, 30 years of retirement might look like without properly planning for it. And Mike, they say that studies actually show that the first 2 years in retirement are really like the happiest years, and absent a plan, absent your own personal mission or purpose, that happiness really starts to wane. What are we all doing it for?
Well, if you find yourself in a position where you're bummed out in retirement, it's depressing you, it's for lack of purpose. And this is a really important piece of all this. If you get pushed into retirement and you don't know what to do next, how are you going to fill that 9 to 5? Despondency, maybe replaying in your head why you got thrown out of the office, thinking about all the things that you could have done or should have done differently. A lot of people become listless. They just end up like going on social media and arguing with strangers online about politics. They don't have a framework or just some sort of itinerary to how to best fill their day. So we like to try to help people not feel like they're getting pushed into retirement, but pulled into it. What are you going to be doing once you make that leap? How do we fill our day? So here's a great framework to think about. Every single day has a morning, it has an afternoon, it has an evening. How can we fill those spots? This doesn't have to go exactly according to this framework, but it's just an idea to help you kind of fill in some of these slots. So the morning can be for you and your wellness. When you have a full-time job, when you have all sorts of responsibilities, when you're driving all around town, you have all these errands. Well, when you're retired, you have more free time. You can actually start investing in yourself. So can you get that exercise in that you've been missing out on? Maybe you can try some new stuff, yoga, pickleball, etc.
Take the dog for a walk, get out there.
Get outside. Just really focus on yourself. Try to better yourself, especially at the age that you're at. You have to focus a little bit because if you want a lot of good years ahead of you to enjoy, you have to invest in yourself.
Sure.
Afternoon can be for purpose. We've talked before about Arthur Brooks, the professor of happiness over at Harvard. He talks about the formula for how people can stay happy. And one of those things that's going to sound so bizarre when we say it here, especially in this context, is work, right? Work actually gives people purpose. So I'm not suggesting that you retire and go get one of those orange aprons and just go work at Home Depot. Now, some people will do that.
A lot of people do that.
And if that helps you occupy your 9 to 5, great. But work just really is a synonym for purpose. What do you want your life to be and look like? See, I think just a lot of times people fill this in with the superficial. They're like, I want to travel, right? I want to go out to eat. I want to try different types of wine. That's not purpose. That's frivolity. We'll get to that in a second, right? But purpose is, I want to coach, I want to volunteer, I want to pick up a new hobby, I want to get good at something, I want to help mentor the young. Those things not only occupy your time, but they feel really good, especially if you invest in those things and get good at them.
Yeah, I think they occupy your brain as well. Like when you stop challenging yourself, that's when you see it start to slip a little bit. I think it's also a big time for like connection in the middle of the day. Maybe you're not going to want to go out at nighttime. It's dark and it's cold and driving back. And I mean, I don't like to do that. Like, and I'm still in working age, but maybe that's a time that in the afternoons you're connecting with friends. You're doing more lunch dates and going out. You're giving back and being involved in the community together.
And then the final part of your day is the evening. You already put some time in to maybe exercise and work on yourself. You've fulfilled your purpose, whether it be volunteering, coaching, part-time work, whatever it might be. Right. Now enjoy your retirement. Relax.
Time for me.
Yeah. So what is that? I mean, for some people, it's travel. But it could just be like relaxing around the house, making sure that you have a comfortable space, that you're getting to bed on time, that you're doing things that are really important to you, that kind of check those boxes to say that you're also enjoying yourself.
Mike, you and I are pretty deliberate, intentional people. And, we, as much as anybody else, want to unwind. But sometimes, we'll take the kids and we'll go maybe to like an all-inclusive vacation for a week. In the beginning of the week, we're always so excited. Oh my God, it's going to be awesome. I'm just going to lay at the beach and I'm going to like eat all this food and have a couple cocktails. And by the end of the week, we look at each other and we go, oh my God, I feel like crap. I got to get back. I got to get back into routine. I got to get back into my purpose. I got to get back to exercising, treating my body a little healthier. Retirement is a permanent vacation.
Permanent vacation.
If you don't have a plan for that, I mean, after a week, we're feeling a little listless and lethargic and like big bums. Imagine doing that for years.
Yeah. Well, no, I can't. I mean, it sounds horrible.
Right.
But a lot of people people thrust themselves into this environment, this new chapter in their lives without having thought through what that chapter should look like. So it's all about balance. We're not saying here that you have to go back to work or like just, enjoying yourself. Bucket list stuff is wrong. It's about finding that proper balance between challenging yourself, investing in yourself, and doing some stuff to give back. I mean, you deserve it. You worked really hard. Having the frivolities there on top of the purpose, on top of the investing is what's important, because 10, 20 years into retirement, you're not going to measure how successful things were by how much your 401k grew. That's not the point of retiring. It's how that money has supported what you've outlined for your purpose.
I'm getting excited about retiring now.
Good.
Yeah. If this video is helpful, like and subscribe for more.
If you liked this video and it helped you, watch another one and don't forget to hit subscribe.